Welcome everyone to another episode of The Creative Minds. Joining me here today is Hamza. So Hamza, can you tell us a bit more about who you are and what is it that you do?
Hello, Aida. First of all, thank you for having me on this podcast. I really enjoyed watching your other episodes, so I'm really excited to tell you a little bit more about myself and what I do.
Thank you.
So basically, I'm an industrial engineer. I graduated in 2015, started working with my degree since then till 2019, and then I switched careers to the fitness industry. So I started working out and going into the fitness industry since beginning of 2013, and I've been at it ever since. So what I do for a living right now is I coach people and I help them transform physically and mentally. I've been doing this alongside online coaching and several businesses on the side. One of the main businesses is creating the first ever supplement company that creates supplements from scratch here in Jordan, which is also related to the fitness industry as well. So this is just a brief of what I'm doing at the moment.
Awesome. So why did you decide to kind of quit engineering or in your background in industrial engineering and switch to the fitness industry?
Right, so that's a very good question. Well, when I started working, or at the beginning after I graduated, I didn't really know what I wanted at the point. Even when I was at university, I was kind of confused, like, okay, so I'm studying this, what am I going to do with this? Where can I be of added value? And when I graduated, started working, every year I would switch into a different position, right? So I was working more into, I started working in the engineering department, then I switched into the operations. I was doing improvement projects at the time, and then I became a supervisor in the operations plant as well. And I wasn't happy with what I was doing. I didn't feel like this urge of waking up and wanting to accomplish something, if that makes sense. So it felt like I was dragging myself every day to go and spend these 9, 10, 12 hours a day just so that, I can get a paycheck by the end of the month. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what the paycheck is, but what you do and how it makes you feel matters more, according to myself at least. So at the end of my career there, I felt I was starting to feel a little bit depressed. Like, what am I doing this in my life? What is this daily routine? What's the end of it? What is the future of me in this company or in general? And I started applying to other jobs and trying to consider different career opportunities at the time, something that is a little bit different. So I was like, okay, fine. Engineering, manufacturing engineering isn't working for me. Let's see if consulting can work for me. Let's see if something else, supply chain can work for me. But even after I did a lot of research and sat with a lot of people who work in that industry, I was still like, no, this is not for me. Doing this 9 to 5 job, it's just not for me. So I decided to, and anyways, throughout the years, I was always taking courses and learning more and more about the fitness industry, about nutrition, supplementation, training, and improving myself year to year. So one of the things that stuck with me and didn't let me down is this part. So I was like, okay, how about I take it to the next level for myself and help people accomplish what I have accomplished in the same way and the same fashion. So decided to quit there, started working on my own, started building my clientele, building my social media at the time, and I started growing from there. And every time a client finishes from me and gets to that certain level or that certain point that he wants, that's what I get, that kind of satisfaction, like, okay, I did something to someone, I impacted someone, I made the change on someone's life. And that's where I hit me, like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to keep on doing, and I want to keep on getting better and better at helping people change their lives, basically. And then from there, I started working more into online coaching and taking clients that I can help, not just from here, but all around the world. And then I decided to open my own supplement company because it's also helping people achieve their goals indirectly by giving them the products that you believe in, that that's going to work for them for their goals. And this is where we're at the moment.
Question is, why fitness? Why, what about fitness that drove you to wanting to help other people? Because you could be helping other people in consulting, you could be helping other
It's true.
people in like the industry that you were in, like industrial engineering. You are helping people, you are adding value. But why was that not enough for you?
That's true. So basically, going a little step back to when I started my fitness journey in 2013. It's just something about it just led me to keep on going. Something about it just drives me to keep on learning more, to keep on wanting to know more, to keep on trying new things.
Mm,
And at the end of the day, part of what I'm doing is consulting, but it's in a different field.
yeah.
When someone comes to me online, is like, okay, I want you to prepare a plan for me. I want one, two, three. That's basically consulting. It's
Mm,
just figuring out how to be efficient at consulting at something that you're good at.
mm,
And when I started, I was always seeing results every month, every year, and seeing that visually makes you know that at the end of the day, or at the end of this period of time, I know that this is coming.
mm,
I know that putting in the hard work, sacrificing, doing one, two, three is going to get me to that goal.
mm,
When I was working, I couldn't see that goal. I couldn't see where I'm going to be ending at. I couldn't see, I wasn't getting the experience that I thought I was going to
mm,
get. And I was basically impressing people that I'm not supposed to be impressing. I'm supposed to be impressing myself and
mm,
working on myself and what I believe in and what makes me happy
mm,
at the end of the day. So this is mainly why fitness, because I found out that I'm good at it, that I'm willing to learn, willing to help, and willing to be patient at it. And it's just, I'm just taking it to another level every year by year, which
mhm.
is continuously improving.
Yeah. So I've interviewed a bunch of people who are into the fitness field and the nutrition and diet field. And there's something that comes up a lot. It's they always talk about the idea of being conscious about the food they eat, don't be restrictive. The basic things, eat fruits and vegetables, work out daily, move your body. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Why are you curious about learning more? I mean, what more can you learn about the basics of fitness?
Okay. So I think it's not as basic as people think it is, or as
Mm,
people say it is. It's not just, oh, you gotta eat healthy and go work out and keep on the move. It works for the majority of people.
mm,
It works for the people who don't really want to be specific. They just want a general
mm,
healthy lifestyle. So at the end of the day, for me specifically, I don't like to work like that, very general. All of my clientele
mm,
have their own customized training plan, customized nutrition, customized supplementation regimen, and so on. And I create the plans that suits every single person depending on their lifestyle, the food that they like, the food that they don't dislike, what works, what doesn't work with them, and make it seem easy for them. Now, yes, it's right. There is many different ways of getting to your goals. It shouldn't be just eating healthy and doing
mm,
this, doing that. So I'm all about creating that balance for the person, because what people lack nowadays is looking at the longevity of it.
mm,
When people say, "Oh, I'm on a diet right now," it's that when they say diet, the word diet, it's something temporary. So it's something that's going to end in like a month or two, or whatever.
yeah.
So we don't look at it that way. This is not what
Mm,
I teach my clients what to do. This is not what I urge people to do. I urge people to find something
mm,
that will work for them right now, and on the long term be very efficient for them. So we change the word diet to lifestyle.
mm,
What is the lifestyle that you want to achieve?
mm, mhm,
And I keep on teaching them these different tricks that they can use on a day-to-day basis
mhm,
to be able to balance between their work life, their social life, and their health life as well. So learning more and more can make it easier for you to know how to deal with these different body types, these different people who have different schedules, and so on.
mhm.
And it's really crazy how much information there is out there.
Yeah,
And the more you read, the more you can link things together, the more you can
yeah,
say, oh yeah, this is why this happened, or and
yeah,
this is why, okay, this is interesting.
yeah,
So it's just a never-ending process,
yeah.
never-ending process.
100%. So let's say you have a client approach you and then they're like, I don't know anything. I'm not into fitness. I'm not I want you to plan everything for me. So when you look
Yeah.
at that person, how do you decide what works for that person? How can you decide that, okay, you know what? This is the amount of protein you need. This is the amount of carbs that you need based on what?
Okay, so that's a very good question because most of the people that come to me, they either have zero knowledge, they're just
Mm,
starting out, or they've tried on their own with
mm,
different people and haven't got to any results. Okay, so I use different scientific calculators to
mhm,
get someone started. So
mhm,
let's say someone just came to me and is like, okay, I am at 1, 2, 3. My goal is to reach this. First of all, I have to be very realistic with them,
mhm,
and I don't like to give him this over achieving kind of, oh, okay, I'm going to make you this in 3 months. No, I like to be very realistic with my clients
mhm,
and tell them, okay, if you want to reach this goal, you're going to have to put X amount of time and effort to be able to reach it. If you go 100% with what I'm telling you.
mhm,
So let's say this person comes to me, he doesn't know anything. I'm going to have to work with him slowly, putting him on a very basic diet plan based on his weight, his height, his activity level, and so on. And on a weekly basis, from the first 1 or 2 weeks, you can tell from the fluctuation of his weight and how he looks on the pictures
mhm,
about what is happening with that person.
mhm,
How is he reacting to the food? And especially because if someone is very new to it, excuse me, it's going to take him about 21 days maximum to adjust to a new habit.
mhm,
Because realistically, just like any other habit, if you want to stop a bad habit, let's say you want to stop smoking, it's going to take you minimum 21 days for your body to be able to adjust to that
mhm,
non-smoking mode. If you want to build a new habit, then you're going to have the same thing. You're going to have to work
mhm,
and bear that pain for the first 2, 3 weeks, and then your body's going to adjust. Like, okay, now we're into this, and I'm adjusting to it. Now I'm going to start to work with it, not against it,
mhm,
basically. So first, 2 to 3 weeks, your body gets adjusted to that, and you would see how the client is um, performing on that, the type of food that you're giving him, the amount that you're giving him, the workouts that you're giving him. And obviously, because I use a fitness app that I create the customized programs on them, and every exercise is very specific with the sets, the repetitions, the rest time, and everything. And there's videos on everything in there. So if there's a client who doesn't know, is like, okay, exercise number 2, I didn't understand it. Where am I supposed to feel it? I tell the client, try it out,
mhm,
see what you can get, see what you feel, and then send me back.
mhm,
And I have to pay very close attention with them. And sometimes I have to create special videos for them, just for
mhm,
me working out, explaining to them, okay, this exercise, you have to do this. This is the mechanics of it. This is where you're supposed to feel it, and so on. So I think this is very important, and people and coaches here lack it. They don't have this kind of follow up with their
mhm,
clients,
mhm.
and they have to have it so that the client can make use of every single
Yeah,
day that they have with you.
yeah.
So this is why I have to have weekly follow-ups and check-ins with my
Mhm,
clients.
mhm,
For me to be able to know what is going on and ask them a couple of questions and to know what to adjust for them to keep on moving forward.
mhm. Okay, makes sense. And you talked about you need to have like 21 days in order to commit to something in order for you to transform and get yourself out of this habit or into a more positive one habit.
Yes.
So the thing is, those 21 days, you say it, but it's so much harder in the moment for you to stay committed to that. So
Hmm.
people say that you have to do it every single day for 21 days, but I don't think this is sustainable. I don't think people actually commit 21 days. I mean, overall, they are committing, but not 100%. So, what are your thoughts? Like, do you believe it has to be so firm that every single day you need to do it for 21 days for it to actually work, or it's kind of like more flexible, give and take?
Okay, let me correct that.
Yeah,
Now, the 21-day period
yeah.
it's an approximation
Mm-hmm.
based on science that okay, if you want to build a new habit, you're going to wait for this amount of time to
Mm-hmm.
be able to adjust to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, during these 21 days, the client is going to start to see progress because he's new to this, something new is happening to his body. He suddenly stopped eating junk food. He's
Mm-hmm.
suddenly drinking a lot of water. Now he's starting to move and stop watching Netflix all night.
Yeah.
He's going to see results. He or she are going to see results by the end of the week. when they drop like 2, 3 pounds, they're like, where did these go?
Mm.
Probably water weight. Okay, let's keep going for another week. They see
Mm.
another 1 to 2 pounds drop. Okay, where did these go? So they are going to see changes from the first 3 weeks. That doesn't mean for them to, okay, 3 weeks, I need 3 weeks to wait 3 weeks and be very strict in these 3 weeks
Mm.
to start seeing results. That's not the case. They're
Mm.
going to see results from the first week if they're doing everything correctly.
Mm.
But it's going to take them that almost the 3 week mark to say, okay, now I'm used to this. Let's do this. Let's keep
Mm.
on going. Let's do some changes now.
Mhm.
And this is what I've realized with most of my clients. Some people take a bit less. Some people take 2 weeks. Some people take 4 weeks. So
Mhm.
it really depends, but that's like an average, kind
Mm.
of approximation. Yeah.
Awesome. And what are some challenges that you faced with your clients? Like, what is one client that you had that had so much trouble to adjusting to this new lifestyle or to letting go of the weight? What are
Hmm.
what are the challenges and how did you kind of overcome them?
Interesting question. So there's a lot of different challenges
Yeah.
that comes with different clients. Many actually. Some of them, it's hard for them to adjust to the eating. They keep on getting
Mm.
cravings. They
Mm.
keep on like, okay, I want to have that burger so much. What should I do?
Yeah.
It's very, very specific and very, very individual. So
Mm.
let's say you have a client like that,
Mm.
someone who has a huge appetite,
Mhm.
then you need to give him a lot of food, a lot of low calorie dense food to make him feel less hungry, basically, and stop craving. Some people, they have a small appetite, you'd have to do the opposite with them. And the people who crave, let's say, certain type of food, you try to give them in their plan something that is close to it
Mm.
so that they don't feel like they're eating something outside
Mm.
that box that they're used to. I have a lot of different recipes, and I urge everyone who has the cravings just open Google and type in healthy burger, healthy pizza.
Mm.
There's recipes for everything nowadays.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. But people, they want to go for the easy way. Just like, okay, I'm just gonna open my phone and order, and it's just gonna come to me and
Yeah.
deliver it to my house. I'm just gonna eat it. So they don't really care. They don't want to put that extra effort. But realistically, you can do a healthy version of every single food that there is out there.
Mm.
And once you show the person how easy it is for it to be made, and once you show them that, okay, it can be as delicious or close to 90% delicious as the thing that you're used
Mm.
to, and then they eat it like, oh my God, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Once they try it, they're hooked. They're like, oh my God, the pancake tastes amazing. The French toast tastes amazing. The burger tastes amazing.
Mm.
They're like, okay, I want more. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Mm.
So it's all about having that variety and that options for clients.
Mm.
Now, some clients they don't care. They just, okay, give me whatever. I just want to get to that goal. I don't care what I eat. Just
Yeah.
restrict everything from me. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I think the challenge, because that's all I can think about right now. Most people, they have trouble with eating,
Mm.
the eating habits, and there obviously there's solutions for everything.
Mm.
So, for example, the people who don't have a large appetite, there's different ways with the supplements and the vitamins that makes him want to eat more.
Mm.
The guys who have bigger appetites, there's ways of giving him certain type of food
Mm.
that will let him feel more satiated for
Mm.
longer
Mm.
without giving him that extra calories. That
Mm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So this is in general how people,
Yeah.
the kind of challenges you find with people.
So, what are your thoughts on food and um you the way you're feeling? Because a lot of the times it's like you're eating to satisfy a certain emotion, or other times people are really stressed and they stopped eating. So, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Most people, the kind of people who are emotional eaters, they tend to go towards sugar.
Mm.
They're like, okay, I'm gonna, oh, I'm sad, I'm gonna go eat a tub of ice cream. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go eat a cake or something. Um, Now, thing is, it's really hard to control
Mm.
those emotions if you're not on a set plan.
Mhm.
But there's also that thing, because I honestly, I've never had someone like that
Mhm.
who comes to you is like, okay, listen, I'm gonna do this behind your back, or who came to me like, oh, behind your back, I had to do this.
Mhm.
But because I've showed them like there's a lot of different ways and they've seen, you know, the results that they get, after a month or two, it's going to be really hard for you, I
Mm,
think, um, to just want to binge eat and ruin everything that you've
mm,
done. Because you've seen how much sacrifice you've done. You had to restrict yourself. You couldn't go eat in this restaurant to be able to achieve this.
mm,
So something mentally is going to tell them, okay, no, try not to eat this, try not to eat that. Let's go for the healthier option. Okay, you're craving sweet, you're feeling down, go eat this.
mm,
And sometimes for the people who can manage that, because some people can manage cheat meals very well, while
mm,
other people, it takes them 2 weeks to readjust to that cheat meal. And that's all genetics. And
mm,
for the people who, you know, can handle that, you just tell them, okay, if you're feeling down, go eat this, go eat whatever you want. When you come back, we're going to do 1, 2, 3 to readjust the cheat that you've just done.
mm,
1, 2, 3, 4 days, back on track, no problem. And
mhm,
then we continue. So it really depends on the person.
mhm,
I think that's
mhm.
because for me, I've never been an emotional eater
Mhm.
myself.
Yeah.
I don't crave anything. Even the cheat meals I have on a weekly basis, I'm forced to have them.
Mm.
My
Interesting.
coach sends me, okay, go have a cheat. You need
Yeah.
it. Your body's depleted. I go and I eat that cheat. As
Yeah.
simple as that. So I
Yeah.
never just go and oh my god, I can't wait to eat.
Yeah.
It's just that's me. But I try to teach that mentality to my
Mm.
clients as well and show them that if I can do it, you can do it as
Yeah.
well. There's
Yeah.
nothing special about me,
Yeah.
you know. And
So
we go
what?
back to that 21 days as well,
Yeah.
which is 20. Try going 21 days without sugar
Mm.
and see how you feel after that.
Mm.
You know, try getting something out of your system, that thing that will that usually releases those happy hormones. Once you get it out of the system,
Yeah.
it's going to take time, but it will reach a point where you're not going to crave them anymore.
Mm. Percent. So then what are your thoughts on diet? Because you mentioned earlier you're more focused on a lifestyle than focused on a diet. But then you also talked about cheat meals. So when I hear the word cheat meals, then basically what it means is that you're following a certain diet in order for you to have a cheat meal. How are
Yeah,
they? Yeah.
yeah, but cheat meals, they're part of the diet. They're
Mm,
part of that lifestyle.
mm,
So if you're going to give someone a so-called cheat meal, how
mm,
people say it here, oh my God, you're cheating on diet. It's called a cheat meal, but it's part of your diet.
mm.
If you deserve to have that meal, then go ahead and have that meal. If you worked so hard and you earned that meal, then you can.
So
So
what is
it's
it?
never
What is a
been
cheat meal though?
cheat meal. Well, people normally they call cheat meal something that is outside your diet. So,
Mm-hmm.
any let's say I just instead of eating my last meal, I'm just going to go out and have whatever I crave.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they call a cheat meal, something that is usually greasy, high in fat, high in carbs, you know, not very the healthiest option.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they have their benefit from time to time. Obviously, everything in balance is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, when someone comes to you and he has high cholesterol, then you need to
Yeah.
be very careful with them on certain things and certain types of food.
Mm,
So that we go back to the health aspect. So it is, you have to look at many different things before you take that decision with any client.
mhm,
But in general, the cheat meal that people call a cheat meal, it's normally just part of the plan, it's part of the lifestyle. And once the person, or once you find out that client, how he deals with that cheat meal, how his
mm,
body reacts to it,
mhm.
and what you need to do to get him back on track, then it's set. You can have that regularly.
100%. And so, do you personally have like a routine or schedule that you follow every single day to keep you motivated and balanced and focused?
Yes, if I don't have a daily routine, then
Yeah.
it's just all over the place. So I have to wake up every day at a certain time. You know, drink my coffee, drink my fat burners, and so on. Just do my cardio. Then I would do some stretching, some yoga, sometimes some posing,
Mm,
and then I'd have a shower, eat my meal, and the first meal till the sixth meal are all structured at the same time. So the
mm,
time I eat, the time I train, the time I give my classes, everything should be structured on the point.
mm,
And I'm driven by, you know, wanting to succeed at this sport as far as I can. So I
mm,
can't go one day without thinking about, you know, being the best at what I'm doing.
mm,
Because right now, actually, I started my competition prep. I might be traveling sometime in October. And things like that drives me even more
mm,
to want to showcase the best version of
mm,
myself. Um, and it's so hard for me not to do that now. It's so hard for me to crave things. It's so hard for me not to eat my meals, not to train, not to do my morning cardio. It's just I reached a point where it's the opposite.
mm,
It's
mm.
hard for me to do the things that people
Yeah,
are suffering from now.
yeah.
But it has to be like this type of discipline.
Mm,
I think it came over the years, and every year I feel like the level of discipline increased more and more
mm,
and more. And what I love about this, and what made me actually one of the main things that kept me going with this and
mm,
not with my other career,
mm,
is that this discipline carried towards other aspects of my life.
mm,
Knowing what I can accomplish while doing this on a daily basis and seeing the end result motivates me to put work in anything else and believing in myself, saying, okay, if I can do this and
mm,
achieve that, then I can do anything.
mm,
And whatever I put in my head, I know it's going to take time because
mm,
this took a lot of time, 8 years and a half so
mm.
far. So, um, yeah, this is basically
Yeah,
what drives me.
yeah.
Yeah.
You talked a lot about mindset several different times. What do you mean by mindset? Focused on fixing the right mindset.
Now, people can talk about it in different ways,
Mm,
but mindset basically, how I look at it is how you think on a daily basis
mm,
about the things that you're doing and the reason why behind why you're doing this.
mm,
Um, Usually, the type of mindset that is required for this type of sport is to be extremely positive, not let any negativity impact you whatsoever, be extremely focused on the day to day, and just, have yourself into that bubble, that
mm,
zone that gets you going,
mm,
and just try not to be distracted.
mm.
This is basically the type of mindset that you have to be in order to achieve in the sport.
So you talked a lot about mindset several different times. So what are your thoughts on mindset?
Um, so there's a lot of thought that comes when we talk about mindset. Basically, how I look at it is looking at the end target and the way that you have to think and the way that you have to act in order to achieve that target. So what do I mean by that? Every single day you wake up, you have to wake up with that purpose saying, okay, this is what I have to do today in order for me to achieve my end goal. When I finish the day, I'd have a look at what I've done throughout the day and this is getting me a step closer to what I want to achieve. So there's always like a habit tracker
Mm,
that you have to look into. And the type of mindset that I'm talking about is the type that says, I'm not giving up on whatever I'm doing. I believe in what I am doing, whether it's my competitive side, whether it's my, coaching side, whether it's my business side. I just want to be as successful as possible in whatever I am doing. I want to achieve so much, and I always want to achieve the best that I can in what I am doing.
mm,
When you keep on reminding yourself here
mm,
that I want to be number one in whatever I'm doing, and stop comparing yourself to other people,
mm,
you start realizing that I'm doing much more
mm,
that I used to do,
mm,
and that kind of mindset keeps on building up on a daily basis. When you get
mm,
used to having that routine and doing your accomplishing everything that you have on your agenda, it just builds up over
mm,
time. And it's very important to keep on reminding yourself about where you are at the moment, what you would like to achieve, and just keep going at it,
mm.
you know?
But how did you build that? I mean, you don't wake up one morning and then you have all that figured out. Like, did you read
Yeah,
books? Did you like meditate? Did you journal? I don't know. Everyone has their own way of
yeah,
connecting,
yeah, yeah.
kind of. What was your way?
To be honest, it did build up because I mentioned this earlier. It did build up over the years. So
Mm,
every year that passes, something improves in this term. Yes,
mm,
of course, we don't just wake up and say, okay, I'm gonna do this. Let's do it. It's so hard to just say. It's so hard. So, sorry, it's easy to say. It's just hard to act. It's hard to
mm,
put everything in place and say, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna accomplish that. And I'm still um, facing issues with certain things that I'm trying to accomplish. I'm just trying to tackle it in a different way.
mm,
I did read. I read a lot of articles and I watch a lot of podcasts
Mm,
and the kind of motivational speeches for different people who have achieved a lot,
mm,
regardless of whether it's in the fitness industry or
mm.
another industry. Motivational speakers like David Goggins, for example, is a huge favorite of mine, and even the guy from Rich Dad Poor Dad, the way that he talks, the way it doesn't have to be just about fitness. I do watch people who talk about different kind of fields and different kind of motivation, how you're supposed to be thinking on a day-to-day basis,
Mm.
how they talk about the 5 a.m. club, where when you should
Yeah.
wake up, what you should be doing for your morning routine,
Mm,
and how to construct your own morning routine to get you drive and motivated for the
mm,
rest of the day. When you should be sleeping, how to know your chronotype, you know so you keep on learning different things from different people, applying it to your life, and then seeing the things that work, you just keep it there.
mm.
The things that don't work, you just change it.
Yeah.
But it's very important to keep on reading and to keep on watching and learning from other people's successes. I think this really helped me a lot
Mm,
throughout the years.
mm,
Is looking into that and watching a lot of podcasts and reading a lot. It made a huge impact on my
mm.
life, especially the things that I know I can apply directly. Like I read this, okay, I can try this now. Let's see if
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, it did take a lot of time. It
Mm,
took a long time. I don't even recall,
yeah.
the exact time. It's
Yeah.
just I know that it took a long time, and I'm still working at it. It's just
Yeah.
you're never at this point where okay, yeah, everything's perfect. That's just
Yeah.
so hard to achieve.
100%. And what are your thoughts? Because you talked about the 5 a.m. club, then you talked about Robert Kiyosaki's book, and then you talked about sleep. What are your thoughts on like you have to wake up early in the morning or you have to have your, I don't know how many hours of sleep. What are your thoughts on that? At least what worked for you?
Okay, so let's talk about sleep because I think it's extremely important. And
Mm,
now sleep, it really depends from person to person about what's the minimum amount of sleep that they can have to be able to function perfectly throughout the day. For me, it's a little bit different because as an athlete and someone who burns a lot of calories throughout the day by moving around, going from gym to gym or meeting to meeting, it takes a lot of energy for me, and the recovery aspect is extremely important
mm,
in our sport. So for me, I found out that sleeping that 8 to 9 hours a day had, does me justice most of the days. So you need to try and see what
mm,
works and what doesn't work with you. But having that sleep, it will help in everything else. People really underestimate the power of sleep and the benefits that it has on the human body. Because you just don't recover when you don't sleep.
mm,
Your muscles don't recover, your brain doesn't recover from all the stress and the thinking. You need to sleep. You need to sleep to be able to function as well as you are on a daily basis. If you want to uh, keep on working at that peak level and trying to get the most out of each day, then you have to sleep.
mm.
Um, People underestimate that, and it's extremely important.
So what time do you wake up? What time do you sleep?
Normally, I sleep at between the 11 and 12, and I wake up between the 7 and 8
Mm,
every day.
mm, mm. And
Yeah.
you talked about sleeping 11, 12, and then waking up 7, 8. Then how does your day go by? So you wake up a certain time, then what do you do?
So I wake up. There's this 3 hour morning routine that I have to do on a daily
Yeah.
basis. Yeah. So it's basically drinking my coffee, drinking my lemon, apple cider vinegar, water, use the bathroom, get changed, do your 30-minute cardio, and probably it's going to increase now. It's going to become a little bit more, maybe 45 to an hour.
Mm,
Some days I do ab training, some days I do stretching and yoga. Sometimes, right now, because I'm in competition prep, then I'd have to practice some posing in the
mm,
morning, after the gym, and at night. So
mm,
that takes up around 30 minutes of my day, 10 minutes each. And then I finish, I shower, I eat, then I'll have my first class. Then I'd have 2 hours to do some work and create some content. Then I would go to the gym every day at 3, finish my workout, do some posing as well, eat my third meal at the time.
mm,
Then I would go continue classes in the evening, eat the rest of my meals, and then I'd have the rest of the evening, which is between 9 to 11 or 12 for myself to do a little bit of reading, a little bit of research.
Mm-hmm.
So basically a little bit with the family. So this is kind of,
Mm-hmm.
or some client work as well. So it depends.
Mm-hmm.
So this 9 to 12 hours, they vary from day to day,
Yeah.
depending on the type of work that I do and if the family is around or not. So
Interesting.
this
Interesting.
is
And yeah.
a day in the life.
Yeah. And you talked about the lemon and apple cider vinegar. You drink that. I heard a lot about the apple cider vinegar thing. When you drink it immediately without being diluted with water, then it kind of burns your esophagus or something. Is that true?
See, people use it for different reasons.
Mm,
For me, first of all, I don't just drink it by itself. I
mm,
have to put a little bit of warm water
mm,
with it, just so that it can break that kind of acidity when you drink it.
mhm,
The main benefits of that when you take it on an empty stomach is it helps your digestion massively before you do your cardio, and it has a lot of benefits for your liver function. So it does help detoxify your liver. So
mm,
for us, for people who let's say bodybuilders who eat, large portions of protein, large portions of food, you
mm,
really need to pay close attention to your digestion and how your liver is, acting
mm.
with all the food that you're eating, right?
Yeah.
So even with the supplements and the vitamins, half of what I take on a daily basis is
Mm,
revolved around, gut health, kidney health, and liver health,
yeah.
which are very, very, very important
Mm,
for us. So this is the reason why I do it in the
yeah.
morning. I feel really good after that. When I finish, even when I do that, it actually regulates the time I go to the bathroom.
Interesting.
So every single day, I go on the same times.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
always it made it kind of structured in a way.
Yeah.
And I feel amazing after that because after you finish that cardio session, your body is just ready.
Mm,
It's ready to eat, it's ready to move, it's ready to do whatever you want.
mm.
And whatever you give it, it's just gonna absorb it optimally and keep going.
And eating like large amounts of, because you're like a bodybuilder mostly, you need to consume a lot of protein, right? But a lot of protein can really increase the enzymes in your liver, if I'm not mistaken. Like the protein, something with the protein has an effect on the liver, which can get really high if you consume a lot of proteins.
The worry is not much in the liver, it's more on the kidneys because
Then kidney, maybe.
the
Yeah, maybe it was kidney. I'm not
yeah,
sure which one was it. Yeah.
it's mainly the kidney. I'll tell
Yeah.
you why. Because the liver is a very strong organ, and it has this ability to repair itself
Mm,
quickly.
mhm,
So even if you put it under pressure um, by ingesting large amounts of food or supplements
mm,
and so on, when you give it a short break,
mhm,
say a week or a month or whatever, it rejuvenates
mm,
really well.
mhm,
The kidneys, however, you need to be extremely careful from the beginning with what you're doing and keep on testing it and making
mm,
sure the enzymes are in check because any damage that is done on the kidney is irreversible.
mm,
So if you go a level down with kidney health, let's say there's 4 levels,
mhm,
down to level 2, there's no way I can go back to level 1. That's it.
mm,
That damage is permanent. And it's just going to keep going down from there.
mm,
So that's why it's important for people to keep on getting their blood checked and get their enzymes in check. But for me personally, I found out by doing the routine that I'm doing, even with high amounts of protein,
mhm,
but making your body make use of that protein and kind
mhm,
of not wasting any of it, every time, I'm in prep or, during the year and I do any type of blood work, everything seems to be always
yeah.
in check. Now, there were certain times in the past years where I would do certain things and then I would find out that my enzymes would elevate.
Mm,
It wouldn't be such a huge elevation because I was never the type of person who would eat out of the ordinary for me.
mhm,
Um, but once you get everything in check, I think it's
mm,
it's hard for anything to go wrong.
mhm, mhm. And you said as long as you're using the protein, then it should be good. What do you mean by using the protein?
Right. So protein is mainly used for one thing, is to repair muscle tissue
Mm,
and grow your muscles,
mm,
right? Even for people who don't train and they just want to lose weight, having extra protein will help preserve the muscle that they have and it has this ability to kind of, it's very, very satiating. So when you eat the small portion of protein, it will
Mm.
kind of let you shut your hunger for a while. So for example, eating, a chicken breast versus eating a cup of rice, you can just eat a lot more rice,
Mm.
and eat a lot more calories than this, chicken breast.
Mm.
This is why people use a lot of protein. Now, for me, because there's a lot of muscle damage being done from day to day, and
Mm.
because I need that protein to recover from the workouts,
Mm.
and especially when I'm on lower carb diets or my calories aren't that high, I need to have that extra protein to be used as energy and
Mm.
to have enough protein to repair my body and keep it recovered and not lose any muscle mass.
Mm.
So this is why. When I say high, it's relative from person to person. For you, what I'm eating right now is probably extremely high,
Yeah.
but for other bodybuilders, might be just more.
Yeah.
I can eat more. I'm eating more than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a level, and I think it takes a long time, personally, for me, for my enzymes to raise up and elevate. But once I know, and once I see the numbers, let's say the creatine levels are high, the
Yeah.
ATP levels are high, and so on, I'll just, have a small, short detox and cleanse phase where I would just lower the amount of protein,
Mm.
lower the tabs that I'm taking, because I take a lot of vitamins throughout the day,
Mm.
around maybe 20, 25 tablets in total. But they're
Wow.
spread throughout the day. Now, everything's for a different purpose, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to go into it because it's too much info. Um, but I would just give my body a break. I
Mm.
would just eat a little bit less of everything, less protein, less everything.
Mm-hmm.
I would even take a break from training,
Mm.
because even when you train and you're pushing yourself and you're trying to push for records and stuff like that, it also puts a lot of pressure on your
Mm.
organs. So
Mm.
you have to be
Yeah.
smart about what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
basically, in order for it to become healthier, or when you're looking at longevity in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have to.
And the types of protein you're talking, what are the types of protein that you're talking about?
For me, mainly animal source protein.
Mm-hmm. And
So
how
I would
how
say
yeah.
probably 80 to 90% of my daily intake is from animal sources.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
like chicken, eggs.
yeah, there's a lot of people who say that um they want to be vegan, but they need a source of protein, and you actually see bodybuilders doing that. Yeah, because some people are like, how can you be a bodybuilder and being vegan? Where's your source of protein? So what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that? Do you believe that us as humans, we are supposed to be eating meat, chicken, or like animal products, or you think you don't need that to be a bodybuilder, or to have like a lean fit body?
Well, this is a huge topic, and I
Yeah.
think you've probably watched the documentary. What is it called? The chain. It's this documentary where it's all about veganism, and they
Yeah.
have like world-class athletes that they're all vegans.
Mm.
The world's strongest man, bodybuilder, competitor, CrossFitter, I think, and
Yeah.
they're talking about how it's all about being vegan, and
Yeah.
there's no other way to do it, and this is the way that humans are supposed to be chewing. We're not
Mm.
made, the jaws are not made for chewing, and so on.
Mm.
To be honest, for me, I would just say go with what works with you. Go with what makes you happy.
Mm.
If you want to be vegan, you feel like it's easy for you, then go ahead and be
Yeah.
vegan. If
Yeah.
you feel like you want to have a mix of both, be kind of like a vegetarian, and eat a little bit of animal products, things that you like, you can do
Mm.
it. I've always looked at it in terms of balance,
Mm.
because we were just talking about the blood tests and having the enzymes raised.
Mm.
If I've been eating animal products for years now, there would have been something
Mm.
showing on my tests, obviously saying that I'm unhealthy.
Mm.
So what I don't really think it's the only way to do it.
Mm.
Now, being vegan is extreme. It's harder,
Mm.
because there you have limited sources to eat from, and most of the sources are just high in carbs.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard for you to get the amount of protein. So if I was going to get 300 plus grams of protein as a vegan, that, that's just extremely high.
Yeah.
I'd have to eat large amounts of protein a day.
Mm,
Plus, there's something that I don't like about it
mm,
is that you're just going to get everything from plants.
mm,
So I don't think you can get a large variety of protein.
mm,
So you know how protein is a combination of amino acids. So it's a chain of amino acid profile,
mm,
right? So that's why for us, we try to get as much as we can from that chain.
mm.
And that's why we have different, or we eat different types of protein throughout the day. We
Yeah,
don't just stick to one source.
yeah,
You know, for example, when someone comes and asks me, "Can I just drink protein shakes throughout the day?" Like, yes, you can, but you're not going to benefit from it. It's just
mm,
one source. It's just from milk. But then
yeah,
you have eggs, you have steak, you have chicken, you have
mm,
turkey, you have, and so on.
mm,
So I think being vegan is difficult. It can be done, but it's just I don't think it's
mm.
very well balanced
Yeah,
on long term.
yeah,
And depends on where you live. Like for example, here in Amman, it's going to be extremely hard and very expensive
yeah.
for you to become a vegan. So
But
I just go with the word balance.
isn't it easier though? Because meat is more expensive. Like you can have beans, you can have potatoes, you can have everything that is like, isn't like all those things much cheaper than meat or chicken or
I was not looking at these sources. There's other sources like tofu and
oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Yeah.
certain types of I don't know because I'm
Soy.
not really into
Yeah.
like, I'm not really
Okay.
into veganism. I don't really know like the type. But when I used to watch people do it, I'm like, oh my god, how can that is so
Yeah.
hard to do,
Yeah.
right? And look at the portions as well. Yani if you want
Yeah.
to get enough protein for beans from beans, then probably for me I'll just be bloated for like the whole day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't work with me.
Yeah.
For example. So that's why it's really important to see what the person in front of you
Mm,
what he wants and what he likes. You
yeah.
can have half of the day being a vegan, the rest of
Yeah.
the day you just eat the protein sources or animal sources that works with you that you like.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with that,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I want to ask you a few more questions. What are your thoughts on supplements? Like, do you think there's added value? Because a lot of people say they're processed. Eat something very close to what God has created. Sticking to fruits and vegetables. Forget about the
Hmm.
powders and all that. And it can also cause some harm to the body. So, what are your thoughts on that? Because you're also creating like supplements to help people in their own journeys.
Yeah. So from the word supplement is supposed to supplement your diet.
Mm,
So add benefit to your diet. How? I'm going to take different products, for example, just to give an example. So basically, a lot of people who don't have a great appetite, they don't have a lot of time in their schedule, and it's hard for them to get their protein intake
mm,
for the day. Having those 1 to 2 scoops of protein a day is extremely convenient for them.
mm,
It will add, for their total intake of protein for the day, and it's just so easy to take it in. And no, I disagree. People and doctors in general,
mm.
they're like, oh, stay away from protein. Protein
Yeah.
is bad. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But they don't look at it the right way, I think.
Mm,
Because at the end of the day, this protein powder, it comes from food.
mm,
What they do is they would take the milk, they would put it into a process, and they would take the protein content from the milk, do another process until it becomes this powder, pasteurized,
mm,
sorry, a filtered form of protein without having the carbs and the fat from the milk. That's all that is.
mm,
And there's different types of protein in milk. There's, whey protein isolate, whey protein concentrate, there's hydrolyzed whey, and there's casein, which is the
mm.
slow
Yeah.
acting part. So they put it into a process to be able to extract each single protein by
Mm,
itself.
mm, mm,
Now, regarding other supplements, they're all there just to supplement your diet. You don't need to take supplements,
mm,
but it's there and it can help you. If you feel like you're not energized after work, you don't feel like you want to go to the gym, you just want to lay down.
yeah.
I have a pre-workout for you. Try this. It's going to give you 1 to 3, boost your energy, focus, and it's not going to give you any harm because everything is every single ingredient is placed within FDA approved dosages. So
Mhm,
you're not going to take anything out of the blue.
mhm,
And any other supplement, every supplement is made for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you can get creatine, for example, from food, it's extremely hard for you to get 5 grams of creatine, which is the regular recommended doses of creatine, through food. You'd have to eat like 2 pounds of meat.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to eat 2 pounds of meat a
Yeah.
day? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Just take the 5 grams of creatine and just read about it. Look at the scientific evidence behind it. Look at how much it's going to improve your performance, your strength, your muscles' capability of lifting more weights over time. So I think there's a huge benefit into supplements. But what I don't like about how people think about it is they tend to rely on supplements instead of food. Now, this is the part where I'm like, no, you're making a mistake here. Nothing can replace food, but you can always add supplements on top to make it better and to make you feel better. It's all about filling in the gaps that you have. Because look at it this way. How many people are getting their 5 servings, whatever, of vegetables or fruits a day?
Yeah.
Very small percentage. Very small percentage. So most likely you're not getting enough minerals, enough micronutrients, and enough fiber. So why not supplement at least with these things to make sure that you have everything that you need throughout the day? Why not have a green supplement? Have it in the morning, with your breakfast, and then you're set for the rest of the day.
But they don't
Now, I'm not
taste
telling
good
you not to
though.
eat.
Yeah.
I know,
Tastes like powder. Like it.
I know, but
Yeah.
but these supplement companies, not all of them, but
Yeah.
some supplement companies, they put a lot of effort into creating something from us, the most natural sources of herbs and stuff, to be able to create that supplement. Now, protein, I don't. If you have bad tasting protein, then you just need to change the company. There's many different companies that
Yeah,
create
I'm
protein.
talking about the greens, like the powder, the
The
green
greens,
powder. Yeah.
yeah, it's not supposed to be tasting. It shouldn't be tasting good. That's why they tell you, okay, mix it with juice or mix it with
Yeah.
something, sweet, because they know it's not going to be tasting good. And you know that if it doesn't taste good, you know that it's good quality. Like they're not going to put any sugars in it. And just like legit greens at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But if you're taking it, you're probably not taking it for taste. You just want it for the effect, right? So this is how I think people should tackle the use of supplements. The most frequently asked question I get is, what is the best protein to build muscle? The best type of protein, the powder. What's the best type of protein? I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's the best company? The powder? Should I get this? Should I get that?
Yeah.
Should I get a weight gainer? Should I get a whey protein? And they have no idea what they're talking about. And then I'm like, okay, you see this weight gainer? Never buy it.
Yeah.
Why? What do you mean never buy it? Because you don't know what they have in there.
Yeah.
They probably have a bunch of fillers added with some protein, and then fills you up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever tried any of these weight gainers, but most of them, they just bloat you. You feel sick afterwards. You don't want to eat, and you don't know what they have exactly inside. Problem is, they have the ingredient label, but they just don't tell you how much they put of everything. Right? So this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do my own company. Is like, I want to know exactly what I'm putting inside.
Yeah.
I want to know the exact dosages. Everything should be FDA approved. Everything should be on the dot. Every single raw material should be tested and made sure of before. And so I just tell them, okay, just take whey protein isolate. Why? I want to gain muscle. Like, okay, you need muscle to build. You need protein to build muscle.
Yeah.
That's protein. That's going to help you add to your total protein intake that we talked about. And then if you're training properly, you're sleeping properly, everything else is in check, you're going to build muscle. And they start, no, but the coach, he told me, take this weight gain. I'm like, okay, if he tells you don't want to listen to me, okay, go ahead and take it. People, they always want the easy way. This is what I realized. They just want to, what's the best supplement? What's the best fat burner? What's the best pill for this? They just want, what's the secret? They don't want to hear, okay, wake up every day, same time, eat your meals, do your cardio, work out hard. You just don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
So,
So I have two more questions. One question is, who is someone like dead or alive that you look up to or inspires you a lot in your life?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I look up to my dad. a lot, in life and how he treats people and the things that he has accomplished. And I always have this sense that I want to make him proud one day and the things that I'm doing. In terms of, motivation, ever since I started with this, Arnold Schwarzenegger was, my number one motivation at the time. I think it's for a lot of people he is.
Yeah.
Not because he was just a phenomenal bodybuilder, but the things that he has accomplished after that, it just empowers you that, okay, you can achieve a lot in this world. You just need to work hard. So the, he's, one of my icons, kind of role model, like, oh, I want to achieve this and that.
Yeah.
And like, other than that, there's many different people that I look up to in different industries, like Elon Musk and what he has done in his life, his story, his successes, and so on. Joe Rogan, for example. A lot of different people. So
What
it's just
about Joe Rogan though? What about Joe Rogan that you like?
he has a lot of motivational speeches other than his podcast and the way that, but it's interesting, like he does talk about his journey a lot and the different problems that you face, what can you do to overcome those problems. And, it's really interesting how he took himself from a certain level to where he is right now. I know it's completely like outside, my kind of, people that I should be looking up to, but I really get inspired by such stories as well. Yeah.
No, I don't think like if you're in fitness, you only need to follow people in fitness. I think like we're diverse. There's multiple layers in who we are, and I don't think like it's your fitness and that's who you are. That does not define you. I think you're
Yeah, yeah.
multiple different things. Yeah, and the final question is, what is your definition of success? So what does success mean to you?
Well, it's waking up every day, having that feeling of happiness and that, I'm in this world for a reason, and I'm doing something to help other people. So I have a purpose in this world. I don't really look at success more like, oh, financial success and business success, because at the end of the day, it's just, it will be gone one day, right? So I don't really look at the small detail. I look at the daily kind of, are you feeling happy today? Do you feel like you're accomplishing something? Are you going to be doing some good for people today? Now, obviously, there's different ways to define success.
Yeah.
Success might be, getting your business to generate $1 million or having X amount of clients. That might be, success. But at the end, I know that this all of that is going to come if I do the smallest things first. If I have this daily kind of mental thought of, okay, today I'm gonna do a difference. I'm gonna do something for myself. I'm gonna do something positive, and I'm gonna stay like that. And then the rest of the bigger successes will just happen with time.
Yeah.
So this is how I look into success.
And
if
is
that makes
success
sense.
for you like just helping people in the fitness or department or like fitness area, or do you think there's more to you that you would want to tackle at one point?
Actually, knowing how this makes me feel and how it's making other people feel, then there's always going to be something in me saying, I want to give something. I want to give something back, Nothing is sure yet. I can't see anything else at the moment, but I know for sure that what I'm doing is the right thing for me moving forward. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. And for everyone to connect with you, where should they find you?
Well, I'm currently available just on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
We'll be working on a YouTube channel very, very soon once, secret business opens. And and TikTok, which I'm not really active on at the moment, but they can find me. Just type in Hamza Nabulsi and they can find me.
Awesome. Perfect. So I'm going to tag you as well. I'm going to tag your Instagram account so they can follow you there and other places. Awesome. So thank you again for your time, and thank you everyone for listening to this episode. I hope you all have an amazing, awesome rest of your day.